Hey kiddos, welcome back to Kingdom Kids Corner. I am super duper glad that you're here today. Before we get started, I need you to go get a couple of things from the kitchen and from the bag of items that I dropped off to you guys today. So the first thing that you will need is the paper clips. The second thing you need to get is a bowl with some water in it. And make sure you check with mom and dad first. So pause this video and turn it back on after you go gather your things. Okay, kiddos, so today we're going to talk about faith. Now, faith, it's kind of tricky to explain. Faith isn't something you can see with your eyes. Faith is, our Bible tells us, it's being sure of the things that we hope for, even when we can't see them. So, you guys might notice my hair moving a little bit. See it moving just a little bit right there? So, how many of you guys know what is causing my hair to move like that? And if you say the wind, you are exactly right. But can we see the wind? No, we can't see the wind. But we know that the wind is there because we see the evidence of it. We know the wind is blowing because you can see my hair moving. Sometimes we can see the trees, the leaves blowing across our yard, or we can see the trees swaying in the breeze. So we know that the wind is real even if we can't see it. And faith is very similar to that. We can't see it, but there's evidence of it. Faith believes that there is a God and that God sent his son Jesus to die for us on the cross and that he will one day come back for us. Having faith takes courage, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So our lesson comes out of Matthew chapter 14. And what had happened, backstory a little bit, Jesus had just fed a ton of people with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. I don't know, you may have heard that story before. But Jesus just fed thousands of people with just that little bit, and there was some left over. So he was seeing everyone off, and he told his disciples to get in the boat and to cross the sea. And so they listened, they obeyed, they got in the boat and they started across. And meanwhile, Jesus said goodbye to everybody and he went up the hill to pray. And it was dark 30 in the morning. Our Bible tells us it was like in the AM, but it was dark. So like 3 o'clock in the morning or something crazy like that. And the disciples were still out trying to cross the sea, and the wind was blowing and the waves were slapping on the side of the boat, and I imagine they were a little nervous. So what happens is, off in the distance, they see a figure coming towards them, and they get scared because they think it's a ghost, and they're like, ah, a ghost. But really, it is Jesus, and Jesus is walking on the water towards the boat. And one of the disciples, his name is Peter. Peter says to Jesus, if it's really you, then call me out to you. And Jesus is like, come on, dude, let's go. Out you go. And so Peter climbs out of the boat and he begins to walk on the water. Now, how many of you guys have ever walked on water before? Me neither. It's something that's kind of, like, we look at it as impossible. It was a miracle that Jesus could walk on water, but it's not, like, I've never seen anybody walk on the water before. That must have been pretty cool. Anyway, back to our story. So Peter is walking on the water, and all of a sudden, he looks around, and he realizes, I'm walking on the water. And what happens is he begins to sink, because all of a sudden, he took his eyes off of Jesus, and he began to sink, and Jesus reached out his hand, and he helped Peter to get back up out of the water. See, guys, it takes courage to get out of the boat. It takes courage to follow Jesus and do some things that might seem impossible. But last week, at the end of our lesson, we learned that Jesus told us, he told us that we were to go and tell everybody about him. And that might seem impossible to follow Jesus like that, to do something so radical like walk on water. But when we stay focused on Jesus and we don't get distracted, we are able to do awesome, amazing things because we have faith. Faith in God and faith in Jesus. and it's so much bigger than anything here on earth. Okay, so I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna get my experiment stuff ready. So you guys have your paper clips and your bowl of water, and I'm gonna show you something that might seem impossible. Okay, so I made a mistake. I forgot to tell you, you are gonna need some dish liquid. All right, so your dish liquid, paper clips, bowl of water. All right, so we learned today that with Jesus and faith in him that we can do things that might seem impossible. So what we're gonna try to do is get these paper clips to float on the water, to walk on the water just like Peter did. So take one paper clip. All right, let's see if we can get a paper clip to walk on water. It sank. Did yours sink too? Yeah, let's try it again. All right, try a white one this time, maybe. Didn't work again. All right, one more time. Let's try it again, one more time. Nope, didn't work that time either. What's going on? Why can't we make our paper clip walk on water? Well, the reason is because we have to have some help. So I want you to take one of your paper clips and I want you to fold it or unfold it into an L shape, just like that. Okay? And now we can, with a little bit of help, we can make our paper clips walk on water, or at least float on water. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your paper clip and you're gonna balance it on your little L shape. And you're gonna stick it gently down into the water. See, sometimes, if we have faith in Jesus, not sometimes, but if we have faith in Jesus, then we can do things that other people might think are impossible. All we have to do is have some faith. And we can make paper clips float on water, or, like Peter, we could walk on the water. But, do you guys remember what happened to Peter? Oh, that one I can't even get it to balance. What happened to Peter, guys, when he was walking on the water? Do you remember what happened? He got distracted. Remember, he got distracted and he started looking around, and what happened? He started to sink. So when we're not focused on Jesus and we get distracted, the soap here is distraction for our paper clips. When our paper clips get distracted, when we get distracted, when we take our eyes off of Jesus, something happens. Our paper clips sink, just like Peter. Peter took his eyes off of Jesus and he began to sink. It is only with faith in Jesus, only keeping our eyes focused on him, that we can do impossible things for the kingdom of God. All right, kiddos, that's all I have for you today. Keep practicing your memory verse, keep being super duper awesome, excellent helpers for mom and dad, and I will see you next time on Kingdom Kids Corner. Bye.